Hello, I'm Tina Roach and I'm from the Cambridge Cookery School. Today I'm going to show you how to make olive bread. So in my bowl here I have 500 grams of strong bread flour. Now I'm going to crumble in the yeast. You can work with dry yeast, it looks like this, the granules go straight into the flour. Or you can use fresh yeast, which you can buy over the internet anywhere you are in the world. You can just look it up and there will be someone delivering fresh yeast. So I'm going to crumble that into my bowl. So I'm going to add my salt and my honey, olive oil and then the water. Now I'm going to mix the dough to start with, just mixing it in the bowl with a wooden spoon until you have a nice sticky mass. And then you just tip it out onto your work surface, make sure you have a bit of flour underneath or even a bit of olive oil so your dough doesn't stick. And then just knead it quite vigorously for anything between 8 and 12 minutes. And you knead by stretching and folding and turning the dough. So there are two ways you can knead this. You can either use the more traditional method, which is just to stretch like this and then fold the dough back on itself. You're trying to create pockets of air and you're creating long strands of gluten. That's the whole purpose of kneading. Or you can do it this way, which some people find more fun and it's a good stress release. So you just lift your dough and you basically throw it on the table, fold it over itself and smack it into the table again as many times as you like. Either way, the dough should change from looking ropey and raggedy to becoming nice and smooth and silky. I'm now going to add my chopped black olives and I'm going to knead them through until they're incorporated throughout the dough, and then I'm going to just shape it roughly. I like to shape it into a ball before I put it into the bowl, slightly either oiled or floured. Just put your dough ball into the bowl and cover it with a clean tea towel and put it aside for it to rise for roughly 45 minutes to an hour. It depends a little bit on how warm your room is, but it should double in size. So now I'll take a look and I'm happy to see that my dough has actually doubled in size. It's nice and fluffy, it should feel quite wet, quite a soft dough. If you put too much flour in, you will get a very firm dough and that will result in a very dry bread, and that's not what we want. So just turn it out and give it a few little squeezes, just a gentle knead again. And then shape it properly, this time into a ball. I like to tuck it under, it's like tucking hair under the rim of a shower cap really, to form a sort of a skin on the dough and you get a nice dome shape. And when I'm happy with that, I'm going to put the dough, the shaped dough, on my baking sheet. I'm going to sprinkle a bit of flour on top of it so it doesn't dry out. If you like a pattern on it, you can use a razor blade or a very sharp knife, or in fact a Stanley knife. It's one of the best things to use. Just be careful and be bold, quick, and go for it and do 3 or 4 quick slashes or a circle, whatever you like. And I'm going to cover it again loosely with a tea towel and I'm going to leave it to rise. So having left my bread to prove, it now looks like an even larger, nice boule, and I'm going to bake this size bread for roughly 45 to 50 minutes. It should come out nicely brown, and if you tap the bottom of the bread, it should sound nice and hollow, and that's how you know that your bread is baked. So here we are looking at a lovely baked bread. It's got a nice brown surface and a lovely crust on it. This would look great on a lunch buffet or with a couple of salads. You can serve it with a dip of, say, just olive oil and balsamic vinegar if you like that, because it has the olives in it. It's quite a Mediterranean bread, obviously. Or you can have a luxurious amount of butter spread on it. That's lovely as well. And that's how you make olive bread.